o'clock. First, before I open this meeting, well, the meeting is now open, and my heart's really heavy. And simply because I had an opportunity this weekend to go see Robert Pratt's mother, and I actually coached Robert Pratt's father way back in the late 90s. Sad situation. Then I look on my phone today, teacher in Raleigh get killed in her house. Sad situation. Folks, it's my position is, instead of beating up on people, loving people. Instead of beating up on them, talking about them or whatever, it's time for love. All this stuff going on is crazy. The senseless kill. It's just senseless what our people are doing and what everyone throughout the universe, not just here, across the water. So I just ask for a quick moment of silence. Anyone you may know that have lost their life, quick moment of silence, please. Amen. Sister Bennett, will you take us to the throne?
Most gracious Holy God, this again we come and give you will, we give you honor. Father, we ask you to be in the midst of our meeting of tonight. The first God, we ask you to bless our peoples, Father. Bless the one that had lost loved one, Father. You know, Lord, that the world is in turmoil. People are killing each other and not caring about each other. But we ask you to bring us together in unity, Father. Not only in this meeting, but in this world also, Father. We give you glory on today. We give you honor today. We ask you to bless each and every one that here in this meeting of tonight. Let us get on one accord. Let us treat each other with kindness and love, because that's what you are about, love. These are the blessed rest of your holy name. We pray, amen.
Amen. Need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Need a motion to approve the consent agenda, item A, which is the approval of the minutes from December 1st, 2025, and December the 29th, 2025. All in favor? Aye. We're down for, number 5. We have any public comments? No public comments. Okay. It's down here to old business. Approval of fair housing plan and analysis made by CDPG 1 project.
Mayor, members of council, this is the grant for $3 million for the Old Loudville sewer outfall rehabilitation. This is the fair housing plan analysis that must be approved as part of the grant requirements.
Need a motion?
I make a motion that we approve it.
Need a second.
I second.
All in favor? Aye. Down to B, approval of Rainsboro volunteer firefighter extension amendment contract for 6 months.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, based on the conversation that we had at the special meeting, I have put together a contract that simply extended the old contract that had expired, basically revived it and extended it to June the 30th of this year. I spoke with Mr. Dawkins this morning, had a conversation, answered a few questions. I think we're in agreement on the language, and we're ready to move forward. We will, once we've got this approved, I'll immediately begin negotiations along with the manager for a long-term extension of the contract going forward.
Need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Need a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Item C, resolution approval for 2025 Parks and Recreation Master Plan update.
Mayor, members of council, this came before us last month. We had a presentation by Mr. Wendell Smalls, who has to submit a 5-year recreational plan for the county, which includes Wadesboro. And we tabled this last month, so we're now wanting to get approval for that recreational plan.
How do
So there is some funds available and resources inside this master plan that we can utilize, and we will be working with the county to try to do that.
Any more questions? Not need a motion to approve.
I make a motion that we approve.
Second. Any second? Second. All in favor? Item D, discuss and consider financial proposal for public works and heavy equipment.
Mr. Dick Huber will speak on this matter.
Good evening, council. Ms. Stockton's going to be handing out a couple of documents for you guys to consider. And what this is, we're actually seeking a selection and approval of a request for financing that we sent out a couple of weeks back for some heavy equipment for our public works department. As you guys probably all know, our fleet is aging out and we need to start replacing some of these vehicles now. So in August of 25, August 4th to be specific at that council meeting, the prior council approved for us to go ahead and solicit finance requests for some of those aging pieces of equipment. So what we're looking for is a selection and approval. What I've made for you is a little cheat sheet going through all 3 of our proposals from all 3 different branches, as well as the full contracts if you would like to read all 3 of them, and email me or ask me any questions you have going forward about any of the contracts. And if I don't have the answer on hand, I can get that for you by just reviewing it a little bit or calling the people who sent in the request.
So this is for the ones for the jet.
Yes, sir. So what the vehicles that we're looking to acquire are 2 gasoline pickup trucks. We're looking to acquire 2 diesel pickup trucks as well as a sewer jet vehicle, all for our public works department. Our sewer jet, we need that really badly, and then we've got trucks that are going out. So to start, Truist Bank was our first response. We work really closely with Truist. We've actually financed a fire truck with them recently. Truist is very, very good at getting us low rates, and how they do that is by putting in specific stipulations to make them comfortable with giving us those lower rates. So if we go down what their proposal was, they're gonna give us up to that $852,000 that we requested. They will have a documentation fee of $350, and we can get the money fully funded all at once if the vehicles were available, or we could put it in an escrow that'll interest bear on the money and give us money back over time while we wait for the vehicles to be ready for us to purchase. The sewer jet is something that will not be available immediately. It'll take a little bit for it to get ready, so that money will gain interest while we wait a little bit. The 4 pickup trucks will be a little bit quicker, I would say, but still, we can either get the money fully funded or hold it in interest-bearing escrow at the time. Our 3 options that I requested them send us are 60 months, 84 months, and 96 months. And the rates are as follows: 3.86% interest for 60 months, 4.01 interest at 84 months, and a 4.08% interest rate at 96 months. And those proposed payments corresponding are below. Something I would like to note that I did not think was covered in detail when we signed for the fire truck financing was I want to cover the payoff penalty and what that is considered. You won't see a payoff penalty in the other 2 proposals, but Truist has one. That's how Truist is able to give us the low rates that we get, by putting a payoff penalty in the contract that they're offering. Now, I want to draw your attention to what it is, because payoff penalty, you think, oh my gosh, like there's no way we can pay it off early, why would we pick that option? Well, it really is not a payoff penalty. What it's called is a 54321 payoff penalty, and what it is in year 1, you can only pay 5%, you get a 5% penalty per year, 2, 4%, 3%, and it goes on so and so forth. But each month you can pay 10% of your bond value. So you can pay whatever's left over that you have to pay, you can pay up to 10% of that extra every month to pay it off over time. So it really is not a penalty, so for say, it's just something they put in their contract so they can give you a lower rate. So, rates are available through 1/24, so in a couple weeks, the rates will be unlocked and they could go higher. So that's why I'm bringing this to you with this meeting, because next meeting, the rates will change, so the proposals will change. So, some of the covenants, what those are, things that Truist will need to see in the case of us selecting their offer or proposal. They will need to see our audit submitted by the end of March. Most all proposals will request to see your audited financials. So our audit, obviously, we just had an extension through February, so we will have that audit completed. So they will be able to have that. They really want it within the 270 days of the fiscal year, within the end of the fiscal year. So, and then they want to know the council's opinion, which is why I'm bringing it to you for a selection. If you do select them, they want to know your opinion on the proposal. And then I highlighted in red the formal commitment. That was in a prior proposal that they did not change the date on, so I highlighted it in red, so you know that that's not actually the actual date, but I have to be accurate with what they put on the proposal. So I assume 5 days after, or 4 days after today's meeting, they'll want a response on whether they get the proposal was selected or not. So that's the Truist offer. URI, similar to Truist, will give us up to that $852,000. And once again, in all these offers and proposals, you can be fully funded, or it'll hold that in the interest-bearing escrow for you until you need those purchases. They also request that we send them all documented information for the purchases that we make. So URI wants to be more hands-on, and they want to see all the decisions that we're making with the money to make sure it's going to what we're saying it's going for. So that's just one of those things that sometimes banks will put that in there. Once again, I asked for 60, 84, and 96 month terms to see kind of what the payments and interest would look like. And their rates were across the board the same, 4.68% for any term, which usually the rates go up the higher term you go, but URI offered us a fixed rate for all three terms. There is no payoff penalty from the contract that I was sent from URI, and the proposed payments and interest are as follows, corresponding with which ones they are. The rates are available through 1/17/26. So once again, we're kind of coming up on that here in a couple weeks, and so the time will kind of fill out perfectly. So we can go ahead and get this decided upon, selected, and we can go ahead and get this on the way. Because like I said, we really do need these vehicles. URI will request some other things. They also would like to see audited financials, but they want to see them 30 days prior to the closing. So that's a little bit closer. So if we were to select URI, it would push us back a little bit as far as getting the vehicles, because obviously our audited financials, we know probably won't be done until February. So that would push us back a little bit, but it's one of those stipulations that they like. But we can talk to the loan officer and go from there. URI's option and proposal is what you would like to go with. They also would like to see project costs, satisfactory insurance coverage to make sure that we cover insurance. In the contract it said workers' comp insurance, they want to see liability, they want to see all that to make sure that we've got satisfactory insurance. Lien and litigation searches, make sure that we have no outstanding litigation issues that they would like to cover or be interested in getting more clarification on before they were to give us this loan. And
They want to see, explain that again, they want to see if we're being sued.
yes, sir. So like, if they want the option to have lien and litigation searches in case, it's all in fear if they wouldn't be able to get their money back, which we're the town, but it's something that they put in some of their loan options.
Was Truist like that?
They did, as far as I remember, they did not have a lien and litigation piece in the Truist proposal.
Is that fixed rate?
That 4.6, so the Truist rate is actually, it goes up depending on the months, so 60, 84, 96. The lower, the 60 months is 3.06, 84 months is 4.01, and then 96 months is 4.08. So Truist is more matching what it normally would look like. You will have a higher interest rate, usually the longer term you have, because your payment's lower, so obviously over time that's just how loaners are. So yeah, the lien and litigation searches. authority documents and all approval documents, so purchases and approvals that we need and that we have made by the council for these vehicles, they'll want to see those as well. So, for example, if you were to pick them today, they'd want to see the minutes probably from this meeting, showing that you selected them. So. And then the third option we have is community leasing partners. This is one that's fairly new to me. We sent them a letter to see if they would be interested in sending a proposal, and they were interested in sending one, but they were late at the original submission. This time around, they were actually on time, and they are going to offer us up to that $852,000 as well. Same thing, they really only offered us to hold the money in an escrow. They never really said we would be fully funded. They offered us I asked again for the 60, 84, 96 months. 60 months is 4.74, 84 months is 4.74, but the 96 months comes out a little bit, 0.10% more at 4.84 if we were to go at that 96-month period. Obviously, as you can tell, those are the highest rates out of any of the proposals, so you're going to be paying the most interest on those if we were to pick community leasing, and their payments are annual because that was the only option that they provided. Their proposal was very vague, did not offer a whole lot of clarification on some things, did not provide a whole bunch of things that they would ask for if they needed any kind of clarification on things. So I put on here kind of a cheat sheet of kind of what they were, what they gave me. So that's all they gave me. I know that there's no closing costs or escrow fees. That was the only additional information that I got. So those are the three options that we have for these vehicles. And what we're looking for is council selection and approval for one of the three options.
Okay. Council, you see it in front of you, Truist and Uriarty. What's your pleasure, council?
All three options for the Truist offer, does it contain the escrow in it as well? Or-
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All
Any
three?
way you select it, you can hold the money in an escrow to interest bear until you purchase the vehicles. And if you were looking for, if it pleases the council, I can give you my opinion on what I would select.
Yeah, I like that.
I think Truist would be the best option for the town. I think the Truist, specifically 84 months. I think that's a decent interest rate for what we're asking. We're getting 5 heavy equipment vehicles that will be used very long term. We use our vehicles here until the brakes fall off, and these are gonna be used the exact same. And we really, really need them, so. 60 months would put us very, very tight in that budget, because you pay on these monthly out of your debt service line items. So it would put us in a really interesting bind if we did 60 months, that payment's a little high, but the 84 months is definitely something that we could handle, and it would be, in my experience, I think that we could handle that. And considering it's gonna be split amongst 3 different departments, that would be something we could.
Okay. Need a motion?
I'll make a motion that we go with Truist Bank,
Need a second?
With the 84 month.
84 months.
Okay, I second that.
Any questions or comments from the council on that? Not, need a motion, need a vote. All in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, item C, a long time coming if we can do it. Discuss and consider purchase price for the town square parcel in the amount of $40,000. That's the one piece that we need to solidify owning all of that, to do what we need to do, council. Mr. Benji, you have?
Yes, sir, Mayor, member of council, this is a project that has been, ongoing since 2014. It's in the middle of town square, we own everything around it. The owner has, agreed to that price, and I'm bringing before council for approval to, accept that price.
Mr. Manager, I'm under the impression that this is not gonna cost the town of Wadesboro directly, that we have a grant that's gonna secure this property for us.
That is correct, there is, some grant funding that was, given to us by the Department of Commerce, and there's $41,021.96 left in that grant fund.
I make a motion that we approve.
One moment, Patrick, you'll look into this and make sure everything's good legal wise, and we're gonna, no hidden,
Yeah,
is
with,
there anything on this parcel?
certainly with any of these real estate transactions, I would make sure that the documentation is precise and protects the town.
Thank you.
And also to add to that, Patrick has been in discussion with Ward Smith, who is the attorney that we use for eminent domain. We were going down that route for this property. We were able to communicate and negotiate with the owner, and he doesn't want to do that. We don't want to do that as well. So we have exhausted a lot of our legal resources. This has been going on for a long time, so we're not just going to blindly go into this. So anything we do is in reference to our legal rights, right? And so this is no different.
Satisfied?
This is the one that kept taking it up and down.
That is correct. That is correct.
I second.
But more importantly, this is the project that's been on the town's books since 2014. It's 2026.
And a lot of the citizens wanna see something happen.
Absolutely.
With that square, get it up, with the resemblance for the community, so.
It's a vital piece of real estate.
I make a motion that we approve.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. That's been a long time coming. It's a good thing. Good thing. Town staff.
No, you skipped A and B of new business.
Yeah.
Oh, did I? Okay. All right, I was trying to get out of this. A, resolution approval of the sale of surplus property with Gov Deals for 25-26.
Yeah, Mayor, members of council, this is the second, I believe, allotment of deals that we want to sell on Gov Deal. Mr. Martin can elaborate a little more.
Mayor and council, like Mr. Ross said, this is the second big lot of surplus equipment that we've sold on Gov Deals. A lot of this equipment is stuff that has been broke down for years, stuff that's inoperable. We kept holding on to it for a rainy day, and that rainy day has come. It's time for it to find a new home, and so that's what you guys have before you. I can answer any questions on any of the specific equipment that's here listed, and go from there if you have any questions.
Chief Martin, what did we get from the first allotment?
Roughly somewhere between, I think, like $45,000. There's one piece on here that may bring a pretty heavy penny, and we could surpass that number on the last one. It just depends on if there's a buyer for that specific piece of equipment.
And these funds go back into the general fund.
That is correct, and also it's our general fund.
Need a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve that.
And second.
All in favor?
Aye.
B, discuss and consider approval to purchase and outfit a new police department vehicle.
Yeah, Mayor, members of council, you have in your packet, the police department is requesting to purchase a pickup truck for the police department. One of the vehicles that's being sold in the Gov Deals is gonna be replaced by this vehicle here. And these funds are not coming from the general fund, they are coming from asset forfeiture and restricted funds, that we have received. So, we're asking for approval to buy this vehicle and outfit it, for the police department. Right now, when we have anything, the police department has in reference to evidence, transport, anything like that, we call on the fire department to use the pickup truck to do that. So this would alleviate us using a different department to do some of the things the police department needs.
And by the money being an asset forfeiture, you mean, the money that they have, gotten from drug money?
That is correct.
And it's restricted as to how we can use it anyway.
You can only use it for equipment, that's correct. And training.
Need a motion on it? I make a motion to get a new pickup for the police department.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, I think we've done that last one, so, Mr. Martin, you're up, sir.
Mayor and council, what you guys have, in your packets and laying on your desk prior, is our end of year report for the fire department. It's just the total number of our call volume for the year. As you'll see, for 2025, we responded to 476 calls for service. That is basically no medical, in there at all. If we were to, provide medical services, that call number would run out of paper.
Skyrocket.
Yeah, we had to have quite a few sheets. There's a few calls on there that do have medical, assistance there. A lot of that's lifting assistance, so on and so forth like that, nothing significant. Moving on into the next, part of my, report, the fire department has finished its, annual hydrant inspection. That's where we go out and physically touch every fire hydrant in our fire district. We have inspected 465 fire hydrants. Of those 465, 166 have been noted with deficiencies. Many of these deficiencies have been on a consistent basis. Many of these hydrants belong to the county, and we have followed all of their protocols that they wanted us to jump through to get them fixed, and we still haven't got them fixed. This ain't an issue that just started yesterday, it's been an issue for the last 5 years. So we're working through that to see if we can get some of this mitigated in a timely manner. Now, of those 166, there are some that are town hydrants, and those guys are working on those as well, but I just wanted you to know about that. The new fire truck is here, the graphics has been installed on it, and we are in the process of placing equipment on that truck. Still probably another month or so out on getting that truck put in service, and just basically just waiting on mounts and stuff like that to come in that we don't have on the shelf. We are up and running our new reporting software. Yes, sir.
Excuse me, once that get outfitted and all that, the old one that we bought, the one that we can no longer get parts for and all of that?
Yes, sir. So to answer that question, I have not seen a bill. It's been down for the last 3 months. We just got it in service, or got it back from repairs, the end of last week, I believe it was. And, we had basically substantial motor repairs done to that truck. It was down for 3 months, 3+ months, we didn't know that. Anyway, it's here. What we would like to do, being that we've spent so much money on it, is to keep it in service as a reserve truck. That will give us half a point credit on our ISO rating, and our ISO rating plays a big portion into insurance ratings for your general commercial property, and that's what we need. We need commercial businesses to come to Wadesboro to help offset our revenue, and so that's what we'd like to do with that.
Where are you gonna park it?
So right now, I've partnered with Liza Fire Department. It is gonna be placed down there at their facility until we can get a building built. In our training funds, if Mr. Davis, if you recall it, our training grounds that we built over at the town shop, we collected a pretty substantial amount of money for that project. We still have a very significant amount of money left in that project. For our training grounds, we're gonna build a building down there with that, is what we wanna do, and then we'll house it back in Wadesboro.
Are we paying Louisville anything?
No, sir, they're doing that out of the kindness of
So
their
we
heart.
won't be
We won't owe
paying
them nothing.
stored?
No, sir.
Okay.
Jumping into our new reporting software, as you all recall, and for some of the newer council members, we had to change our reporting software from emergency reporting to a new vendor. It's not something that we wanted to do, it's something the federal government made us do for our national reporting criteria. And as you know, when you make changes like that, of that magnitude, you run into technical glitches. And so we've run into a few technical glitches since January 1. We're working through those, and hopefully we'll have those ironed out sometime here in the next week or so. So just want to give you guys an update on that. You guys have any questions or comments from that?
Scott, the reason I'm asking about that truck is I know we spent a lot of money on it.
Yes, sir.
I know at one time, every fire chief, we need to do something with it, we need to bury it.
That is correct.
We need to bury it and move on. So now, like say, if we like to see what we spent on it.
I would be surprised, because I know where you're going, if we get what we spent on it out of it. That's why I said I'd like to keep it.
Yeah, but if if we get it back and it breaks down again, I don't see us
That's correct.
keep.
And I think that's where we would just sacrifice it and let it go then. For what we spent on it, I had a quote, and I know we're north of that quote. So we're not gonna get out of it what we've got in it now. That's why I say we keep it. But it's at the pleasure of the board.
All right.
Thank you all.
Mr. Mayor, council, December was a busy month, we were turning off today, and, from November twenty-eighth through December 31st, Wadesboro Police Department, had 1,117 calls for service, for the month. As you all are aware, unfortunately, on Christmas Day, we had another homicide in our town. It was a phone call nobody wants to get, but I want to just take a moment to thank several agencies. I know personally, I just sat down at the table with my family for Christmas and had to leave. We had just a couple officers in the city, a couple officers in the county, and they got there, secured the scene. Sheriff's Office, they rose up. Chief Mims, he was one of the ones that found the vehicle in Polkton. The fire department came, set lights up. I mean, nobody wants to leave their family on Christmas, but SBI, everybody come together on Christmas Day. It's such a tragedy, as the mayor's already mentioned, but because of everybody's efforts and working together the way it should be, we were able to solve the case very quickly, and we're thankful for that. 3 people is now in Exton County Jail, and it's not just because of what Wadesboro Police Department done, it's because of SBI, Exton County Sheriff's Office, Fire Department, everybody working together as a team. I just want to take a moment to personally thank everybody involved, especially my officers. Like I said, Christmas Day, 1 o'clock, and within 35 minutes, I had 6 officers that was on scene, helping secure the scene, work leads, and that's the part that a lot of people don't ever talk about in law enforcement, but I'm just thankful that we had officers that came and worked all evening, all night to get the case solved. As many of y'all seen, social media, December the 19th, we had the privilege to take some kids on Shopping Cop and had a great time. And then December 22nd, I had started something about 5 years ago when I was over public relations in Richmond County. It's called a toy parade. And it took several years to kind of get up and going, but this year, I'm just still overwhelmed and excited for how quickly and how wonderful our town responded to it. I was uncertain. I wanted to be over-prepared, and we still had to stop at Roses and spend, me and Debbie spent money, and Lieutenant Nolan out of our pocket to finish out the parade. We gave over 300 toys away that day, and it was just tremendous, and I just want to thank everyone in the community that helped donate support, and Ms. Debbie for helping us. We couldn't have did it without her. Also, the mayor had reached out to Mr. Ross, and he reached out to me. I want to give you a quick 5-year summary of what I call our high crime stats. In 2020, the town of Wadesboro, we had 3 homicides, 23 robberies, 462 assaults, 177 drug offenses, and 72 weapon offenses. In 2021, we had 3 homicides, 14 robberies, 456 assaults, 105 drug offenses, and 47 weapon offenses. 2022 had 3 homicides, 10 robberies, 500 assaults, 108 drug offenses, and 52 weapon offenses. 2023, 3 homicides, 9 robberies, 511 assaults. And when I say assaults, that could be assault and deadly weapon, assault inflicting serious injury. It might have been a shooting where the person did not pass away, but they were injured. 126 drug offenses, 58 weapon offenses. 2024, 3 homicides, 10 robberies, 389 assaults, 60 drug offenses, 27 weapon offenses. 2025, we had 4 homicides, 1 suicide, 10 robberies, 299 assaults, 114 drug offenses, and 38 weapon offenses. And I want to just kind of draw the attention to say I'm not 100% familiar with the cases prior to me coming to Wadesboro PD, but Since I've been here, yes, in my opinion, we had 4 too many homicides, no doubt about that. I wanna notice that half of our homicides were people from South Carolina that came in, to Wadesboro, town of Wadesboro, committed these. And I'm not gonna go into details about, because they're still active cases, but, one of them was just, we became a hub for someone to come from Montgomery County, from Pageland to meet, and a drug deal is what we feel, went bad. And, so like I said, there's no way to go around it, besides they're all unnecessary. It's just something we gotta work, better and being more proactive, and it's gonna take more officers to be more proactive. These people know not to come to Wadesboro, because we're gonna arrest them. And, I'm thankful, and I wish I could say that I'll be able to stand here every year and tell you this, but I am thankful that the 4 homicides we had in 2025, every one of them were solved. And I am thankful, and that goes to commend Lieutenant Nolan, the Detective Division. There again, Essex County Sheriff's Office, SBI, everybody worked together, to solve these. That's something, you don't want to have a homicide, but that's something that every chief, every sheriff will want to be able to say that they were solved. And we want to get the message out. You may come to do it in Wadesboro, but we're gonna solve the crime and do our very best to get them justice served to the victim and their families. But, that's all I have for you tonight. Y'all have any questions for me?
I like to thank personally as a councilman for all of y'all working together, sheriff's department, police department, fire department, and bringing unity and community together. That's what one of our biggest things is talking about. So that's what it takes. And I think y'all are out doing some traffic stops and finding some people. I can remember years ago, some officers would canvass 74 pretty hard. And they come across a guy who'd been running to Wilmington quite regularly through here, and I think it was about, I'd say 2 duffel bags full of marijuana. And I remember the statement he said, he laughed. He said, "I've been coming this way for years because it was the easy route and I never got caught." And that officer was out there on that 74 bypass doing his job, and I think the guy made a mistake and didn't turn his blinker on, he pulled him over. And so, I don't want us to be a hub. I want the sheriff's department working with us, I want you working with us. We need to get down in South Carolina. I'm familiar with some of that area down in Chesterfield. Very, very good. The last sheriff that was down there real well. So I want to see us working even across state border lines to do good, and I appreciate what y'all doing.
Thank you. And like I said, we are working, I'm just not here to beg for more money from you guys, though I am asking for more money in the next budget, but, we are looking at grants, with the Governor of Highway Safety. We have started the process with there. I talked to, someone from the state this week, and, it's looking very promising that we'll get some money from them, this coming year, hopefully, so we can keep them. But extra positions like that is what we got. We're maintaining, but to be proactive and to stop some of the hub, it's gonna be honest with you, it's gonna take more officers than we got. And I know the town manager is aware, and he's working, we're working together numbers for the new budget, but I just wanna thank y'all for y'all's support. And there again, to the community, once again, we're ready to have a police department Christmas party, and it was all because people in the community, Mr. Sellers, his wife, was one of them, reached out, donated. We're ready to give every officer a gift and have a meal for them, and every bit of that comes from businesses and people in the community that donated, and we appreciate that, and the officers were very thankful and grateful for that night.
Chief, one more thing.
Yes, sir.
I know you having to solve these crimes, the present, but, cold cases, any of that, have you had time to look into any of those? It's been sent?
Actually, Sergeant Daigle and myself met, the week before Christmas, and that was gonna be their goal, coming back from Christmas break, is to start looking into them, and unfortunately had the homicide, so, it is on our radar to look in. Like I said, they've been tied up with this one, but we did have a sit-down conversation, and there was a couple that, he'd been looking through the files that he wanted to reevaluate, so, see if we can do it. So yes, sir, that is in our goal.
I'm taking personal stuff out of this, but how many detectives you have that's just purely set for things like that?
For homicide,
Homicides and cold cases into that.
3.
So one more would help.
Yes, well, let me take that back, I'm sorry. Detective Nolan was just moved to admin, to help take care of, since I moved to chief, she's kind of taking over what my job was when I was assistant chief, of kind of, doing the paperwork side of a lot of the stuff with the state and everything we have to state. So right now, we have 2, detectives, but she is still working the cases with them until we get the third one. So I just wanted to clarify that. I told you 3, but she was moved 2 weeks ago, so she's still there. I mean, when they had homicide, she was one of the first ones calling me. I'm on the way, so. But 2 to answer your question.
We just need to bring closure if we can, because some of them are old before you, and if we could bring closure to some of those, it would go a long way. So that's, and I lost a good friend right on Salisbury Street, ain't nobody seen him, just at my house, hadn't been solved now. So it's.
I understand that. Like I said, it has been discussed, and I will talk with Sergeant Davis and see if we can, once they, I believe they're pretty much finishing up the paperwork and tying in loose ends on this last homicide, but that is something he actually approached me about, so if he's interested in getting started.
Good, thank you, sir.
Anything else? Thank you.
Good evening. Hope everybody had a good holidays. I hope y'all was as good as mine. Things are going as steady as it can right now. We've turned our new meter readers loose this coming cycle. That allowed to free up a lot of our water departments to work on our backlog of leaks. I know Councilwoman Bennett called me one day last week. They just run together. We're aware of backlog of leaks. We're working on those as we come to them. As many of you know, we sent out our unknown line and galvanized prior replacement letters. I don't know how many phone calls the office fielded today, but I come to work to a lot of emails and a lot of phone calls today. If you would, let your constituents know, we're not in the situation Flint, Michigan was in several years ago. That's where this is stemming from. The letter was sent out due to state and federal mandates. We have to find out what every single service line in the town is by the end of 2027. Statewide, everybody that's reported there has been less than 200 lead lines, the entire state. It's a bigger problem. The next round revision of this mandate is gonna look at different things. We don't exactly know what that's gonna look like just yet. I went to a class on it in August, and they was explaining to us. We're working with an engineering firm to try to see what's out there as far as funding to do this, because it is a lot trying to run the water system, plus try to do this extra stuff. We spoke with one company that kind of fizzled out, so we're working with an engineering firm. They're looking into it, see if we can see about lining up a contract to come in here and start spotting these lines. Some of these we don't have to spot because they've been replaced. We just have to go over our files and see what's there to work those numbers out. Working on getting some more of our meters installed. I spoke with a contractor last week, waiting on a quote from them. If you would let your constituents know, on the west side of town, from Green Street west, if we get this approved before the next council meeting, budgetary wise, they will see a contractor in town installing more water meters, getting us back on our cellular-based system. We're waiting on another vendor. We have entered a pilot program with a different style meter. It's easier to install, easier to utilize, just as such, because it's a pilot. It's running into some glitches, waiting on them to work through the glitches. They should let us know something before the end of this month. Once we get those in, if they work like they're supposed to, we're gonna try to move forward installing more of those radio reads. Work is steady going on with our current 3 pump stations. We're working on the, what I call the east side improvements. Work has not started on that. We will have a meeting at the end of this month with engineers to get an update on that as far as when that's gonna start. You will see a lot of construction from East Castle and Park Road area all the way to 52. There will be a lot of construction going on in that area from now until the first of next year. That's kind of what we got going on big in town right now. Yes, sir.
My quick question here is, Mr. Manager and Hess, we just signed and purchased some more heavy equipment, but the one thing I didn't see was the limb truck, those trucks that's been broken down and you inherited some old equipment, okay?
Yeah.
I've been sitting here on it, so we have to have a plan to get that, where the limb truck is up and going and not down 6 months, or not having to buy stuff to, we bought those trailers or what, kind of to get the furniture up, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
So we think we have to prioritize, you know, stuff like that. What does a limb truck cost, roughly?
I have no idea.
I can tell you that you will see one come across your desk, in the upcoming budget cycle. We've already, started planning that with, Mr. Dean. He did ask the other day, about that, so you will see that. I can use that exact number right now.
Thank you.
So, but just to add to that, so you're absolutely right, Mayor, that, you know, our fleet is beyond aging. It's gone, right? And so these items have been kicked down the road for not 1 year, 10 plus years.
I know.
And so now here we are, right? And so we have to prioritize, and that's why we started with the jet truck and find that stuff first, and then we're gonna go from there to the limb truck and make some other purchases. And it ain't just public works, it's police vehicles too, right? Fire trucks, we just bought a $1 million fire truck, right? Because this fleet is aged out. And cities and towns are supposed to do a capital outlay plan. So to forecast throughout the years to buy that stuff. Guess what, folks, the town rates, but didn't do that. So here we are. So we are addressing it as soon as possible.
We, Mr. James is here, but we're not gonna go. We used duct tape for a while. Then we got out of using duct tape and we started buying, and then we somehow it went south again. Here we are. But,
You're absolutely right. Nick has inherited all, and I did too. We both inherit some of these issues. The meter readers, right? The reading the meters, right? They went through 4 different vendors. 4 different vendors, spending thousands of dollars, right? We stopped it. We're gonna get this right.
So did we upgrade our meters,
So,
our water meters?
due to the cost, we can't do a system changeout. System changeouts, you have to be really careful, because when you look at the expense today, everything ages out, everything don't work correctly after a certain amount of time. Your average meter is anywhere from 10 to 15 years, then you start losing accuracy. The electronics meters are kind of new. They're 15 plus years old, but they're still new technology in the grand scheme of things. So not knowing that versus changing out roughly 2,600 meters total, we're trying to spread it out and do a little bit all along. So as the initial batch goes out, we should be done with all the installs to start back over. And that way the town's not incurring that cost of having to buy a complete system every time something goes wrong.
And to do that, you're looking at about $3 million to replace it all at one time. So we're gonna slow walk it. We're gonna do it in increments. Cost effective.
And that's not to say that company goes out of business, you have to move on to somebody else.
Exactly.
Which
did I hear you say you're looking at some grants to place some water lines? Are we looking at some of that? I'm getting a bunch of calls about that, and I wanna say this, I did get a phone call from, a lady who has been without water down the, East Wade Hillside. But I won't tell you what she said, and I want to go back and tell you guys. She said, even though I was out of water and I had to walk down there and that was some of the nicest guys, were very apologetic, they worked late into the night. Even when they got it fixed and it broke down the road a little bit further, they went down there in the cold and dug it up in the middle of the night and fixed it. So that spoke volumes to me, to you guys. And I have seen them working really hard, and you're right, there is a lot of water squirting up in different places, and I know they're working hard, I see them.
And that, to add on to that is the problem we're up against. We have such an aged infrastructure. We ended up with $7 million in the Eastside project. $7 million ain't gonna touch it. We had to cut a third of the project out because the bill costs are just so expensive.
Astronomical. And Mr. Taylor, are you talking about Wade Mill?
Well, Wade
That area over there?
Mill's one of them, we, you know, that I've talked to some people there too. But this is actually East Wade Street.
Okay.
I think it's been about 3 times maybe.
Yes.
So,
But there is an issue in Wade Mill too, in that community, so just for the public knows, so that was annexed, and the town is now responsible for that, but we did not build the infrastructure, they did. And so what they did was, they put infrastructure, sewer lines in people's backyards, side yards, right? So it's a nightmare, and it costs about $20 to $30 million to fix, right? So we have to, and we are soliciting with the DEQ and trying to get the resources to do that, but it's gonna take years to do that. Because they have water and sewer lines in the wrong place, not in the right way, where they should be. That's the problem over there in Wade Mill. So we did fix some streets over there, we did as much as we could. This spring and summer, we fixed all the complaints over there. We had a lot of complaints about the streets and the ways of potholes, and we fixed them all as much as we could. And we will continue to do that.
Thank you, Nick. Okay.
Just to comment on a couple of the things we spoke of since I last sat down. Number one being, our capital improvement plan is something we're focusing pretty heavy on this budget cycle. We have specialized work papers, and we have a really big focus on these things that we need to replace. We know the fleet's fading, we know the fleet is getting old. We know that. We're definitely gonna work on it. We've spoken about it multiple times in the past, the 3 months I've been here, it's been brought up multiple times, sometimes weekly. We're aware of the fleet's downfalls that we have that we're facing, and this heavy equipment that we're looking to purchase is one of the first steps we're taking into replacing some of those things. And then, to comment also, to make sure that we are being transparent and covering the town's best interest, North Carolina General Statutes, Chapter 159 requires us to properly report all restricted funding purchases out of our fund balance. So I wanted to clarify with Mr. Ross that the police truck that we are looking to purchase, that you made a motion to approve, the purchase will be coming out of restricted fund balance money. And what that means is it is federal drug forfeitures, but it's also controlled substance tax. And every year on the audit, that total fund balance number, this is a piece of that number, the restricted funding. So I just want to make sure we're being transparent. Now to the fun stuff, the numbers. So my normal reports that I give you have your memo and your summary, which has a bunch of graphs on it, as well as a budget versus actual packet with all the details on your budget versus actual. Any questions that you have about the budget versus actual packet itself, you can always ask here. And if you look later and you have any other ones later, feel free to email. We'll come in. I've already spoken with Mr. Lyles. We had a really, really good talk about the things that we're looking to do, changes we're looking to make, and I look forward to meeting with anybody who wants to. So to start with the memo, I'm going to read down and it'll kind of go through where we stand as of right now with our expenditures and our revenues. So as of November 30th, 2025, what you have in front of you for our general fund is revenue collected of $1.5 million, expenditures of $2.7, We've encumbered about $230,000, and that leaves us at a $1.2 million operating deficit. That's pretty much where we sat last year about this time. We will continue to accrue more revenues as we go. We're through the holidays, so I'm hoping the collections of our water and sewer ladies and John in the front will continue to pick up, and we'll continue to collect on some of those. People paying their water bills and stuff like that, and the trash. But that's where we stand as of right now. We'll keep collecting more and more revenue in the second half of this fiscal year. And we just received our second reimbursement of the year for Powell bill money, about $102,000. So we are receiving our revenues, and we're pretty much on par with where we were last year.
That right there is a law that was in, what, 1959, Junior's Powell,
Powell bill?
the Powell bill.
Yes, sir.
Now that's for street improvement,
Yes, sir.
greenways.
Yes, sir. And this year, we've spent a good amount of Powell bill money. Mr. Ross has been very adamant about making sure that we're saving our general fund and water sewer dollars and actually making sure that we're spending our Powell bill money. We had a lot of Powell bill money when he got here, and he's done a good job of spending some of that.
And it's for just roads and things.
It-
But that's
yes,
the same
yes, sir.
resources, right?
Like potholes, things like
Potholes,
that.
streets, yes,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
yeah.
And we've spent a good amount fixing some roads, and we've had a lot of really, really good feedback from that, I think.
Yeah, I like it.
So, in water sewer, we've collected $1.37 million in revenue. The water department has spent $631,100. The sewer department spent $404,300, leaving us with encumbrances of $32,900. That leaves us at $332,800 revenue exceeding expenditures or surplus, and that, once again, our water sewer budgets are very, very healthy. So, cash and investments. We currently said our cash and investment holdings stand right now at $7.9 million, marking an increase of $820,600 compared to the same time last year. That's all from smart decisions with the money, which I credit Mr. Rawson this morning for that. And it's actually a little lower than it will be hopefully here soon. We're in the middle of correcting a bank reconciliation issue, which will jump that back up a little bit, because one of those lines that is included in the cash and investments is our checking account. So we had to undo some of our bank recs, and we're working on fixing that now. It was an issue with some journal entries. So that'll be back to normal next month, hopefully. And what to expect, the budget will be continually monitored, and like I said, if anyone has any questions or anything like that to help with peace of mind, please come over. If, Mr. Davis, if you have any questions about our capital improvement, what we're looking to do, we have our second budget training session Wednesday of this week, and I welcome anyone to come to that at 10 o'clock on Wednesday. So,
Thank you.
absolutely. And the audit is still in progress. Like I said, we just got our extension for that, but if anyone has any kind of anything that they need from me, please feel free to reach out. I would love to meet anybody.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Ross?
Yes, just a couple things. I want to talk about, we just brought to our attention about an illegal dumping site. Dwayne, if you can pull it up here real quick. So this is Lincoln Street. Look at your monitor there. The street department took pictures, and so someone is dumping, or boats are dumping trash on the side of the road, right? Unacceptable, right? So please, citizens, please don't do this. We don't accept this. It's not right, and you know, your tax dollars now have to go and pay our staff to go and clean this up. Right?
Is there any way we can get somebody to do a little tech work and find out maybe who does it?
So we're in the process of taking it right now. Yes, sir. Absolutely, absolutely. So it's unacceptable, and we definitely want it to stop. So just want to bring your attention, council, that we are definitely addressing that issue. Right? And then I want to have the MLJ parade folks come up and talk about our MLJ parade on this year. Ms. Maureen Richardson, her staff.
In the past, Wadesboro Township has always helped us to make the annual walk that we do, the traditional walk that we do from the Department of Social Services down to the Lockhart Taylor Center. And so we are here tonight to ask that you, hopefully and prayerfully, that you will do that again this year, giving us protection from the police department, the fire department, and the sheriff's department. And in the past, it's always worked well. We never had any incidents, and the people came, and it all works out really well. Brian Ellaby is our lead person for lining that up over at the SS on the 19th. And then it will proceed, hopefully and prayerfully, down Washington Street to the Lockhart Taylor Center. And again, we'd like to have the mayor as our grand marshal and to welcome the folk once they get to the Lockhart Taylor Center, to the wonderful, beautiful town of Waysville. Is there anything else we need to bring to their attention? Oh, yeah.
Invite all of you to come out to support activities that we're going to do, the march, the breakfast, and the event on Wednesday.
Yes, it starts on the, actually it starts on the 15th. And that is, at Holla, the Jazzy Night. So if you wanna have a good time, come out, everybody. And this year, the theme is strictly unity. Unity in the beloved community. And if there was ever a time that we needed that, it is now. And so far, we are getting people from all walks of life, the young, the old, and the restless. We're getting all the churches involved. In fact, we had breakfast on Saturday with the different churches for the table talks. So we're excited that so far it's moving very well, and we're hopeful that it will continue to do that. And so we need your help. We cannot do it without you.
And if you all received the email with the agenda, please share it with others.
Yeah, I have it here, and I'll just quickly go over that. Just start from the 15th, Thursday, the roundtable discussion, local churches. January 16th, Friday, is the Jazzy Night at the Morgan Holla Center. And then on the 17th, it's the prayer breakfast. And then on the 19th is the actual program, and the march starts at 8 o'clock. Yeah, and we will also put this on our website in terms of the agenda and the lineup.
Thanks so much.
Hopefully, many of you will be asked to participate.
Yeah, last year I did, and a lot of the council members also were. The mayor was there, everybody participated in the program, and we had a great time honoring Dr. Martin Luther King.
Yes, it is an Anson County thing where we all get together and we all work together to make a wonderful program for all of us. So we're looking for you to be there for support, and we're looking for you to bring your families. And hopefully and prayerfully, everything's gonna work out. Well, we know everything is gonna work out. All right?
All right, do we need to make a motion?
No, so we have authorized the police department and the fire department. We're gonna work with the Anson County Sheriff's Office to make this all come to fruition. We did it last year, no problem. Scott is very experienced at doing these throughout his career, so we're going to do it.
I know we need to make a motion.
Thank you, thank you so much.
Thank y'all.
Down to, and starting with Sister Benny and the council comment.
I don't really have any comments. I just like to thank the chief for what a great job y'all did, because the shooter was down below my house in my neighborhood. So I thank you for everything that you did. Great job,
Councilman Garrett.
Come on, then.
Thank everybody for what they did.
Councilman Long.
Chief, you did a wonderful job, you and the guys that day. I came down and talked with you and your family, went down Bow Street, they said you did a wonderful job. So, and you guys did too.
Well, Chief, you were not here. We have a curfew, we have a curfew that may get with the, manager here. Are you aware about our curfew in underage for our underage people?
I'm not,
Okay.
Yeah, so we enacted a curfew last summer, and, the police department was instrumental, obviously, in enforcing that, and so we will get with you, previous council passed that, and we'll definitely, continue to enforce that.
I just wanted to bring it up, cause the other night I'm out and I see two kids out. I said, oh, wait, something ain't right, that's what jogged my memory, is about the curfew.
we'll definitely take care of it.
It's just, that's all, need a motion to adjourn this and go into closed session.
Make the motion that we go into closed session.
All in favor? Let's go. We're now in closed session.